Loony here. Welcome back to yet another WorldEdit series tutorial thing. Nailed it. So, in this episode we are going to be doing the // region command. There's many things in the // region command that we will need to do, so let's not waste any time and let's actually get started. So there's a few things that we'll definitely need to do. For example, public static boolean does region exist. So this will go ahead and check if a region exists for it. Right, okay, so this is used in our WorldEdit region class as well as other things for easy access, whatever, blah blah blah. So, the way that this will be working is we check a list in our config to check if it exists. So I will return a new suite, something custom config, which is called, what did I call it? I think it was just WorldEdit regions.yml .get config .get string list, and then it was region list dot contains and then region. Now the argument will be a string which is called region, or defined as region. So basically what this will do is it will get a so basically suite custom config is basically a new config system that I've been coding, and it's basically going to make it easier for all of my plugins to get a specific config that it needs, and check that config instead of having a class for each config. So this is going to get the config, this will get the actual config itself, and this will blah blah blah. So contains returns a true or false, which is boolean, which is why we can just do return. So that's that. So yeah, so public static void create new region. Now the arguments that we're going to be having for this is the UID, which is the owner of the region or the creator, string, which is the region, then location of the min location, and the max location of that region. So that's going to help us find out where it starts and when it stops and stuff like that. So now we need to, like, for our WorldGuard system, we need to get every single chunk that the region is involved with. So to do that, then we need to do chunk min chunk, which is equal to min.get chunk, yeah, that's a thing, and then chunk max chunk, chunk, which is equal to max.get chunk. Now we need to do a list string, which is chunks in region, which is equal to a new array list. So don't really worry about that yet. And now we need a hash set, which is going to contain chunk, and then we'll just call this chunks, which is equal to new hash set of chunk. So that is that. Now we need to have a for loop. So in x, which is equal to min chunk dot get x, if x, well, I'm just saying what this means, by the way. If x is less or equal to max chunk dot get x, then x plus plus, and you don't need our parentheses, which is the squiggly brackets. And also, if it's not the squiggly brackets, please contradict me, because I've been told that's what they're called and I haven't tried to Google. So basically, now we need another for loop. This is our z coordinate for the min chunk. So int z is equal to min chunk dot get z, and then if z is less or equal to max chunk dot get z, then z plus plus. And then if obviously that all happens, then we do chunks dot add, not chunk or like whatever, it's chunks dot add min dot get world dot get chunk at, and then x and z. So yeah, now it doesn't really matter which one you used here, like max or min. I'm using min just because it's the first location that we actually have. And now you're going to be wondering, okay, so what next? Well, now we have our new for loop. Now this is just chunk c that's in region. So not region, it's not, definitely not in region, it's in chunks. So this will do a for loop through every single chunk that is in the hash set. Now if chunks in region dot contains min dot get world dot get name plus comma plus c.getx plus comma 0 comma plus c.getz, fact, that should be the opposite way around. And then chunks in region dot add. Oh wait, chunk it. I'm trying to get through these so I can actually get them edited as soon as I can. So min.getWorld.getName. In fact, we can just copy this. That will go ahead and get all the chunks that is actually in the region for us. And now we need to do a list string, which is equal, in fact, we'll just call this regions for now, which is equal to new suite custom config, world edit regions.yml, dot get config, dot get string list, and then region list. So that will get all the regions for us. Then we'll just do regions.add, and then this will be our new region, which is the region that we put as a argument. And then new suite custom config. We'll do this as world edit regions.yml again. Like I said, this is my config system. For you, you'll have to do it differently if you've if you're not experienced on how to do custom configs. Go find out. You should already know this. These type of tutorials aren't for beginners in Java or even Minecraft plugin coding. So this is why I'm not explaining how to do things entirely, because you should possibly even know this stuff already. So get config.set, and then we'll just do region list with regions, because that is the new thing that we're saving. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do new suite custom config, world edit regions.yml dot set. Actually, we need to do get config, don't we? Dot set. Now this will be regions dot plus region plus dot chunks, which will be chunks in region, and that will save as a list for us. Now we need to go ahead and copy this for quite a lot of stuff actually. So I'm going to paste it about 7 or 8 times. So what we'll just do for now is do flags here, and then we'll just make this as a new array list. And then after that it will be players, which in fact will be containing the exact same thing as flags. So that's that. And now the owner is equal to the uuid dot toString. Alright, and now we need to do min.world, which is obviously min.getWorld.getName. Then it's min.x, and yeah, so basically this is just saving the locations and stuff, which is obviously min.getX. Now if you want, you can put in the double. Putting the double is sort of recommended, so that you can actually put things in correctly. So yeah, basically put in the doubles. Then min.getY, and then obviously max.getZ, which is right, okay, so I've put max, you need to put min, because I'm thinking of something else that I was about to say. So now we've actually done the main location, which is why I put max by accident. We can paste it and put max, and now we can do new suite custom config, world edit regions.yml dot save config, and that's that. So that will now go ahead and save everything to the config, and that is basically us creating the new region. But hold on, Loony, what if we want to delete the region? Yay! Right, easy. So do another public static void delete region. Well, not another, we need to make one, and let's just call this string region. Not call it, as an argument put in string region. Now list string regions equals new suite custom config, world edit regions.yml dot get config dot get string list. So it's basically just the same as before. And then if regions.contains region, regions.remove region, and then we can just go ahead and save this back. I'll just copy that, and then that's that. Now we need to do new suite custom config again, world edit regions.yml dot get config. Now we need to go ahead and set regions dot plus region to null, and then that will go ahead and remove the actual data for that, so that it still isn't in there, so that it is removed from there, sorry. And then we just need to go ahead and get the config. Actually no, I think we could save config. I don't know why I thought we had to get the config. So that is that. So that's our WorldEdit API side of it. So now, sorry that this is again a long tutorial. These tutorials will get long sometimes, but now we need to go make a WorldEdit/region command. So in here we just do the usual implements command executor, command executor, and things like that. So that would tell us to implement a method because it's an abstract and it needs to be implemented, which is easy because we'll just do that. And now we just need to check if the sender is an instance of a player, and if it's not, then you'll have to return true, otherwise it will send them back the command. And then I think I have my own sweet default messages dot wrong sender. So I have my own little system which tells me, which basically outputs a command, outputs a message to the player. So now we need to change this stuff up here. So command sender to sender, command to CMD, not CND. The string, whatever that was, to label, and strings to args. That is the way that I like to work. You might work differently, which is absolutely fine. So player P is equal to player sender. That will go ahead and cast the player. And if label dot equals ignore case / region, that's that for us. And then return true real fast. So that is basically going to start that for us. And now we need to go ahead and check if P dot has permission, which is because WorldEdit, I can't bother to put WorldEdit dot commands, so it's just we dot commands dot / region. And now I need to go into expand, copy that, paste that, and I need to go ahead and register my sweet player for a second, which is just as simple as this .from session p dot get unique ID. So that's basically me using my own little permission system, rank system and stuff, whilst also checking if they're on something like military not military factions, like factions that checks if they have permission, if they're using like PEX or whatever as a permission thing. Else sweet default messages dot insufficient permissions for the player. So that's obviously checking permissions. So if args.length is less than 2 or args.length is higher than 2, in fact we don't actually need that, do we? Then we'll just send them a message, check color.red plus usage plus check color.italic plus / region define or delete name, which is a region name. So that's going to be our little help message. So now if args.length is equal to 2, and if you heard it when it said, so if args0 dot equals ignore case define, that will then open up some stuff for us. And then else if args0 dot equals ignore case delete. Then here we could just do else and then copy this p.send message thing and send that to them, because that's basically saying, whoa, argument error, stuff like that, but in a nice way. So string region which is equal to args1, if weapi dot does region exist, region. Oh, that's checking if it doesn't exist, obviously. So anyway, else p.send message check color.red plus the region plus check color.yellow plus region plus check color.red plus already exist, because you you know, the region is already there, so what's the point in trying to make a new one? So anyway, WorldEdit API, or WEEP I, as someone once said to me. Create new region, so p.get unique ID, region, which is the region name, weapi.get selection 1, get unique ID, comma, weepy.get selection 2. Why did I call it weepy? Blah blah blah, you know, stuff like that. We need to go ahead and get our little thing here, which checks if they actually have a selection or not. That needs to be inside of there. So that's going to go ahead and make sure that they actually have selections. And then we can do p.send message, chat color.light purple, plus new region created, dot plus, in fact, this is where we'll add whichever region was created as like a string, plus chat color.dark gray. In fact, I'm not even going to say this because it's probably getting annoying now. So it's just simple stuff, which is basically just putting the region in a bracket with specific colors around it. So yeah, that is that. So now for our delete, we'll go ahead and copy that code and delete, paste it, not delete. Now we can get rid of the if selection stuff, because we don't need that now. The region doesn't exist, so we can change that and make sure that this is a normal boolean statement, so get rid of the exclamation mark. Now we can put this to delete region, and you just need to go ahead and put the region name in here, which is the argument region. Why does it? Yeah, don't pop up. So that's that. And then region deleted, and then the region in there. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and my mouth's getting dry now, so I'm gonna have to stop recording for a little bit, have some water and stuff. So why don't you also go ahead and have a break from coding for a little bit, because you've probably been trying to code for a while. Go have a little break, have like a cup of tea or something, biscuits, get some food, and carry on the series if there's new uploads. If there isn't, then, well, just be patient, I guess. So anyway, guys, sorry if this episode is actually longer than I thought. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless, and I hope you see you next time. See you guys.